Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Raft. My name is Siren. The boat's gonna look a little different than it did last time, mostly because I've been working on it a shit ton. The main thing that I wanted to do in between streams and in between recordings for this was try and I don't think my hook can quite reach the floor. Was try and get just enough wood and resources and shit to build up this raft because it is just a lot of mindless resource gathering. It takes so long to um, get just the amount of wood and plastic needed to build this up. Also, metal, because as you can see, these kind of metal looking corners around here, these take metal ingots and nails in order to do what is called fortifying these. And that basically means that the sharks can't latch on to them anymore and destroy them because that's like a huge pain in the ass. You might notice everything's a different color as well. That's because I have been painting. As well, I like to paint the rafts and kind of make it a little bit more unique and vibrant and fun. In order to do that, you need the paint mixer, which is down here in the miscellaneous category. So that paint mill, it's just a bunch of um, scraps and stuff and things we can find pretty easily. Again, resource gathering, and the paintbrush, which you do need feathers. Um, you can get those from either killing the seagulls or from making one of these cute little nest things that they can land in if you don't want to have to kill them all the time. And then you put flowers, which you can find on any of the either the small islands or the big islands. Any area of land has the flowers, and you put them in this. And then as the boat is going, it will spin that wheel and make paint. Another big thing you've probably noticed immediately is these grass plots. I unlocked the recipe last time, but that's under here. So it's just the dirt with like wood and plastic, which you get this from you build a shovel, and then you can find dirt on any of the very large islands. So a small island like that one over there, that does not have dirt on it, but the larger ones, the ones that spawn like the giant birds that attack you and the warthogs and stuff, that will usually have areas of dirt that you can dig up. And you use it to make these grass plots because this is what you use to feed your animals. As you can see here, I do have a chicken and an alpaca. I still need to get a goat in order to have all of the animals that are available to have on your boat. But in order to bring animals on the boat, again, the animals also do spawn on those larger islands, like the one I was talking about, the ones that have the um, large bird and the warthogs and stuff. So you have to make a net gun, which we also unlocked the recipe for last time. And again, I did this off screen because it's a shit ton of resource gathering just to be able to make this stuff. But so this is kind of what is annoying, is these net canisters, which are the ammo for the net gun, require explosive powder. Now you get explosive powder by killing the pufferfish that can spawn in the reefs around the bigger island. And they drop something, like, I think it's called like explosive goo or some shit. But you smelt that, and then that is what makes the explosive powder. So a lot of, again, I did that all off screen because it is, you have to kill a bunch of the pufferfish, you gotta smelt all the stuff to make net canisters, and then you can totally miss when trying to catch these guys, which is a huge pain in the ass because you do not get the net canisters back if you use them, which is so annoying. So I've got a second floor to my raft now. As you can see, I've made some more smelters as well. That is also something that I wanted to do off screen because it is, again, more just annoying resource crafting because if you might remember from the first time I made just one of these, is you need a shit ton of bricks. And bricks you make out of sand and clay, which you can find in deposits around pretty much any island, but that takes a while. So you can see I've been fucking with the patterns as well on painting. So I am working on the third floor because the third floor, which is currently the top floor, is... Oh, that floor's not... I'm making a little balcony around the second floor, and that one's not totally ready yet. But the third floor is where I've been putting the radio stuff. So this is, again, something I wanted to do off screen because it is such an enormous ass pain to get everything that you need for the radio, because it's a shit ton of plastic and copper and vine goo. So the vine goo is what you get from, oh, what's it called? From smelting like the seaweed that you can find in certain places around the islands as well. And with the vine goo, you then combine it with, again, plastic, copper, and probably some other stuff. So that's a shit ton of resources. You have to make this receiver that you see here. That's the actual radio. And then you need 3 of these antennas, which are, let's see here. Yeah, so that's a bunch of circuit boards. The circuit boards are also copper and vine goo, which is why you need so much of it. So you need 3 of them. They've got to be spaced like evenly enough apart from each other. They can't be too close to each other, so you need a decent surface area. And they have to be high up, so they can't be on the base area where, like, close to the water. So that's part of why I wanted to spend so long just resource collecting for getting wood in order to build more floors to this. I made a little bed, as you can see. I've unlocked some more decoration recipes. You get those just from random barrels that you can find out and about. So that's where those come from. And with those, I've unlocked quite a lot of the plant ones, which is fun. And then, so the bed is one thing I made, which I had like just the basic bed you can make last time. But this is kind of, the second floor is sort of where I've got all of my resources gathered at the moment. As you can see, I made a bunch more of the bigger chests because I have so much shit that is extra from all of the resource gathering I've been doing. See the paint in here. There's the shovel and my net gun. I am out of net canisters though. A lot of things you need for building up these extra areas are specifically the, make an extra access minus is what you need nails, like a shit ton of nails to do some of the building. So that's honestly been holding me up even more than the wood, is because you have to have like supports for stuff like this. So I'm going to show, for example, there's that. These. Like so. See, this is the little, I hang it outside the window because I think it looks cute that way. Kind of see it around, but it is sort of blocking some stuff. So I'm trying to move this somewhere where it's not gonna prevent me from getting around here. It's getting dark, so I'm gonna go sleep so you can see, hopefully, again. Yes, I built more of these little large crop plots as well. These are super useful, especially for the wood gathering, because like I said, I need a shit ton of wood to do anything. And these grow trees for you, so you can, well, you need seeds for them, like you need the, fuck off. But they allow you to grow trees when you are out at sea, which is super useful, because otherwise you have to find specifically islands in order to get trees. So let's see, where are some of my seeds? You can see I've got a lot of these here. Let's see. These like this. 3 of them. So that just helps you kind of steadily get more wood with which to build like these kind of things. Let's see. Oops. Gotta be careful I don't fall off a side, or otherwise I will die. Let's see. There. I think I have to do another small one. Can I do one there? Thanks. These are very awkward. The platforms that you have to do, like trying to find a place to put these supports, because they're very finicky. Now, in order to paint on only one side, you can see I have two colors, like the top of it is blue, is you have to, there's a specific mode that allows you to specifically do only one side of it. So you can see the underside of half of these on the bottom level is white. You can also do patterns on them, which is really cute. Up to the top floor because when it rains, it just makes it easier because you can get kind of them watered for free without having to use having to constantly water them manually, which is what I'm currently doing. Because it's annoying. Like that. Built some more water collectors because always need that. Some of them you can do patterns on. Like you can see, for example, I could do these patterns on the floors if I wanted, but I think it makes it look a little too busy. Now on the walls, I do like to do patterns because I think that looks kind of more like wallpaper, so I think it doesn't make it too annoying to look at. Hopefully. The floors I still do one color. It's the same shade of blue. That's another thing, is because it takes me a while to paint in between sessions sometime is I sometimes forget which colors I use to make something. Yeah, that's too dark. It's this one, yeah. To do these stripes around the outside. But now that we have the radio tower, we can get to the first story area because now we have the coordinates. Or when you start the game, you get these coordinates here, 4, 5, 9, 8. I think they're randomized, but it's specifically like the first area you can find. So whenever you boot up the radio tower, you can see these are the coordinates here, and then it'll have this little blue spot on the map, so you can see we're 657 meters away from that, so it's in that direction. My boat is anchored right now, but we are going to be heading in that direction. In this episode, I'm going to go unhook us here so we can start moving towards it. You can see he wants so badly to fly through my ship with the power of magic and also to bite onto it, but he can't get me because of the reinforced platforms, which is nice. And unfortunately, the sail is clipping like unabashedly into the side of it, but there's not much I can do about that. It takes a pull on the ring. We should be moving, yes, in this direction. I will have to frequently turn the radio off because it drains the battery. So you can see this battery here is actually, that does not come with, this battery's not included, does not come with the radio. You have to make a separate battery, which again, that is menu. It's more copper, plastic, etc. So it should be coming up over there, hopefully soon. Can I reach? Not right. Let's see. So I put more of these sweep nets around the outside as well because these are useful for just picking stuff up as we, uh, sail along. It kind of saves me from having to constantly scan the horizon and manually hook stuff because that is such an ass pain. Um, so that's always a good thing to make, is to kind of surround your boat with these nets here. But they are pretty resource intensive. You need nails, you need a bunch of rope, you need wood, like a lot of wood actually. Oh, you see, there's my little chicken. So the chickens will lay eggs periodically. The llamas or alpacas or whatever they're supposed to be, they uh, will, if you shear them, kind of like sheep in Minecraft or something, they will give you wool, and then that is used in a few crafting recipes. Like I made a backpack, as you can see there. So that is why I have these 2 extra whole rows of inventory. I forgot to mention that. Somebody might have noticed. That is like one of the few actual just straight up upgrades to your inventory you can do. Pretty much the only one, I think. I don't think there's like a bigger backpack you can make. I think it's just you make that backpack and that's pretty much it. I made these water bottles, 2 of them, one to hold seawater, one to hold fresh water, because they hold more than the plastic cup that you can make. They hold like 5. I can't quite pick up that egg. I think it's glitched there. They hold 5 things of water, and so with the upgraded um, water, like freshwater maker, it can hold up to 5 things of seawater, and it will turn it into 5 things of fresh water. So that is where. Let's see. There's an egg. I'm gonna eat it. Just eating completely raw. Uh, I haven't gotten much into the cooking things in this game. There is like an upgraded cooking table where you can make like actual meals and stuff, but I have not gone much into that yet. In order to do that, I need, let's see, there's this, which is like making food, and then this, which you can use to make smoothies and stuff. Although that's a little bit harder because you have to have, again, batteries to operate. Not the cooking table, that just uses a lot of wood, but for the let's make sure we're still heading in the right direction. Yep, we're getting closer. Should be able to see it soon. The cooking pot uses a bunch of wood, so. But the smoothie thing, that uses batteries, and that it takes up quite a lot. Let's see. Can I actually make? Probably can. Yes, I can. I'll go ahead and make it. Put it like there, so it's not clipping into the. Actually, I already have some recipes. You can find them on certain chests on the islands and so forth. So we'll put it there. Well, that's a smoothie recipe, not a cooking recipe, but the idea is there. So you can see you need a lot of wood to do that. We'll check that out in a minute, but you can see it vaguely in the distance. We're getting close here. So you need clay bowls in order to get stuff at the food table. So what you do is, you can see this is the most basic recipe, is just the beets and the potatoes that you can get. You can make those into like an actual stew. Let's see. I've got so much stuff. I have more plastic than I know what to do with. There it is. I should tilt the sail a little bit because it's kind of behind us almost. So that is the radio tower. That is the first story location we can go to in game. Look at it. See, it actually gives you a little bit extra, which is neat. I'm gonna put my extra axe in here. Just try and clear up some inventory space before we go explore this thing. Let's see. I always have more rope than I know what to do with because I get so many palm leaves just from sailing. Make some more sweet nets. But I'm not going to place them yet because I don't have enough nails to kind of make them secure. Because I don't want to place the sweep nets somewhere where they're just going to get destroyed. I like to be able to fortify them right away so that they don't immediately just get eaten by the shark. You can see they're very useful. I collect all this shit that we're going past, just a bunch of palm leaves and plastic and wood. It's driving me crazy. The egg is all glitched out, but whatever. People coming from the back of this here, but that's okay. So these decoration packages you randomly get, this is what I was talking about, where it you can find some of the recipes that you use to get your cute little decorations on the ship. Oh shit, fuck's sake. Fuck off, Seagull! Right. Let's go ahead and dock here. Sleep, and then in the morning we'll go explore. Very cool little story location here. It's a lot of parkouring up the sides, remember? Alright. Let's see. There it goes. I keep spawning on the top deck because my bed is directly below this, so sometimes the game gets confused and then just teleports me to the top. Replant these trees and then we'll get on here. Go. Some more water. Get down the ladder. Oh, shit. It's because I'm running into... Whoopsies. Make some more stuff. I do like the ominous kind of groaning that is coming from the structure. Very spooky. Very atmospheric. More stuff than I know what to do with. Let's actually kill the shark while we're down here because some of the things that I need to find, some of the story elements like the notes are underwater. Yes, I can shoot a bow and arrow underwater. No, I don't know how. Through the power of belief, I suppose. But I'm going to kill the shark just so I get it off my ass for long enough to explore in here. Because if I did not, it would just be constantly fucking with me when I'm exploring the bottom of this structure or trying to do damage, which they did a decent amount of damage. I think if anyone watched my, it's either the second or third stream, I think it was the second, where it just kept killing me constantly. You don't have that much health, especially whenever you don't have any of the armor upgrades, which again, the armor you can make with wool from the alpacas and also leather that you get from killing the warthogs on the islands. And the armor does protect you a little bit, so you don't take quite so much damage, but these, they still do, even in normal mode, because it's only normal difficulty, they still do a fuck ton of damage. These things, there we go. The bow and arrow is, again, it's more vine goo, which is why I had to do a lot of resource gathering to get it. And then the arrows, these are the metal arrows, which you make out of the metal ore you can get, and then also feathers, again, from the birds and wood. So that's also resource gathering just to get those arrows. Now, thankfully, this game is kind enough that whenever you kill something with a shit ton of arrows, like I just did that shark, is it does give you the arrows back. So that is kind of it. I'm gonna try and be careful with not drowning this time. I kept having that issue last time. Ah, here we have our first note here, so I'll shut up because this game does actually have voice acting now. I believe it didn't in the early chapters, but it will read this note, so I'll shut up here.
December 12th. We stopped for the night. Owl climbed the tower. Radio still works, apparently. Should be 2 weeks before we reach Celine, but the team's not responding. You might say things are a bit tense. The other facilities are underwater, so if Celine is lost, we've got nothing. And now, Sparrow's not talking to either of us. I really hope we're not the last hope for humanity.
So that is from somebody called Cuckoo, who, as you can see, we've got some bird motifs going on, probably code names, almost definitely code names. Cuckoo and a mention of somebody called Sparrow, and a location called Celine. So we don't know what all that's about yet, but something mysterious. Let's see. All these lower level places where you can just get like scrape and everything. And then, how do I get up on the main deck? I might need to move my ship closer so I can just have the height. Well, can I jump out of the water and get on here? Oh, there we go. Okay. Some graffiti here. I got you, Bruce. There's a ship. Some more scrap. I really need the scrap. Scrap is what I used to make nails. That's why I'm doing so many of these. Let's see. Robbie. Boat's gone. Bruce is after me. Gonna stay here until I find a way off this place. Mike. So, Robbie and Mike. Some other people. Not Sparrow and Cuckoo, as we can tell. Caught a shark, named him Bruce. So obviously, that's a reference to the movie Jaws. Or Finding Nemo, whichever you would say. Finding Nemo is also a reference to Jaws. It's because Steven Spielberg named the shark that he uses in the film, the robot shark, they call that shark. They call that Bruce. It's named after his lawyer. Just some fun movie trivia there. That seagull is eating my crops again, but we'll let him because I can't be bothered to deal with it. We'll just kind of parkour up here. Get some more random stuff. Let's see here. Just carefully make my way around. I think I need to get to the other. This was just to get those resources. Jump on here, and there, and there we go. It's very convenient they have all these platforms with little parkour things. Took boat, won't be back. So that's a different graffiti than, like, color, than the other ones we saw for Robbie and Mike. So it's probably, well, we can presume it is a different person writing that message, perhaps Sparrow or Cuckoo. Where's the entrance here? Oh, duh. Ooh, blueprints. It's to make a headlight. Trace.
Owl's radio notes. 22nd of December. Distress call received. Balboa Island. 9th of January. Cuckoo won't accept facts. 2nd of February. Gunshots in the distance. Tangaroa City. 14th of February. Sparrows calm. At Celine. 6th of March. Another distress call. Varuna Point. Missing child. 16th of April. Rafters dreaming of utopia. Foolish hope.
So now we have a mention of somebody else called Owl, again going with the bird motif, but they are mentioning a lot of other points in the game that we could perhaps travel to. They mentioned a Varuna City, or Varuna Point. They mentioned Tangaroa City. They mentioned, there you go. What else did they say? They said Balboa, um, Utopia, all these other mysterious places that we have yet to find, but seem to be points on the map.
February? We've picked up a lot of signals. Maybe someone will come and help us. We're not starving. Yet. The reactor at Celine might be the only chance we have against this endless ocean. You knew it, Sparrow. Owl thinks you betrayed us, but you must have had a good reason for leaving us here. I hope you make it to Celine. I hope you finish the reactor. For all of us.
So now we have a mention of a reactor at Selene. So wherever Selene is seems to be someplace that has presumably a nuclear reactor of some kind. And Sparrow, whoever they are, left Owl and Cuckoo here in order to go finish building or working on or trying to fix whatever that reactor is. And there's a person in here. This is a unlockable character. This is Tala.
Hey, a friendly face! Wondering how I ended up here? Long story. Really, really long story. Anyway, nice raft. If you need any repairs done, let me know. I've sort of ended up as a maritime expert, mainly due to the world sinking. Awesome. Let's head out.
So Tala is a unlockable character. You can change your avatar to be her. There's I think 6 total characters you can play as in the game. There's the default girl that I am playing as right now. There's the default guy. This is something I really need, the recycler. And then we get coordinates to our next location. So this is usually how these story locations go, is they have some story stuff and then they give you new coordinates to put in your raft radio. So 0538. Don't know where that is, but Owl, who seemed to be the one that was keeping track of the radio signals here, seems to think there's people there, whatever it is. So that's going to be our next destination. Don't know if I got all the notes from on here. I think I'm missing one. I don't know where it could be though. I kind of scoured all over this. It's not a huge location. Because it went to all the indoor areas, I think. Looking for those briefcases and also. Because they're just like pieces of paper, so it's not like they're always incredibly obvious to. As you can see, we've got these 3 notes here, and I feel like maybe there's another one that goes there, but I don't know. I might have to come back for it if somebody can tell me where it is, because I don't want to spend forever just running around on this. Can I jump to over there? Nope. Well, that's already where I went to get that box, wasn't it? Yeah, I don't know where else it could be. I think I pretty much got. Oh, I haven't been in here yet. Ah, here we go.
January. It's been weeks. Just me and Owl here now, stuck on this platform. Sparrow took the boat. I can't figure out why. Everything is just so secretive. I mean, I don't even know their real names. I only know the team at Celine got a prototype working and they needed more people. We were supposed to be those people. And together we would find a way out of this mess. Somehow. owls yelling up in the tower. Or maybe the radio picked up something. Is it you, Sparrow?
So, okay, so that was the one we were missing, which is that they were here for several months, and somebody was trying to contact them. Perhaps Sparrow, that she managed to get to whatever this Celine is. Oh, woof, UI issue there. Whoopsies. How is it not daytime? Oh, there it goes. Okay. I was like, it's definitely dark. Let's see. So now I'll put my new coordinates for this other random place into my radio and start heading in that direction. But every story location you find like this, it gives you blueprints for new stuff, which is always cool. And then it also will give you, what's the word? The coordinates for the next location in addition to whatever story thing you find. So I found blueprints for a recycling machine. That's super useful. The recycling machine allows you to make, what's it called? The like trash cubes out of extra stuff, which I desperately need because I have a bunch of junk. And with it, where's my research table? Here we go. And then with it, can I make that right now, actually? There we go. So then with this, it, let's just put it there for now. Need a battery to go in it. But the trash cubes you can trade at those little trading points on the larger islands. I've pointed them out before. I can't remember which stream it was, but I'll try and show it at some point. But the large islands always have those trading points, and what you do with those is you can trade them to get like fun little bonus stuff. It's not required for the story. It's just like a neat thing you can do. So make some more of these. Let's see this. Can I do this corner? No, I can't. That's so annoying. But I might be able to build out a little more eventually. Let's put all this stuff back in here. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm gonna put in the new coordinates. Let's see, what was it? It was 0538. Okay. So you go, whoops, 0538. Okay, so it's that direction. So next time we will get heading in that direction and find where these perhaps people are. But in the meantime, I'm going to work on the recycling machine and trading and so forth, and just a little bit more resource gathering off screen. Thank you for joining me for Raft. Next time, like I said, we will continue the story and see what more is out here on this ocean. Bye!